All right, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Mike, and I was one of Edward's brother-in-laws, and it's my honor to officiate this celebration of life as we celebrate the life of Edward Stanley Clark. Yeah, it's a difficult time and a difficult day for the family and for friends, but we want to celebrate all things Ed today. So we're going to celebrate him through his poetry, through songs, through scriptures. We're going to celebrate Ed. We're going to see some pictures of him and family, and this is a time of celebration. So before we go any further, I'd just like to open us in prayer. So Father God, we thank you for this time together. We thank you for this opportunity to grieve together in community. And Father, we get this opportunity to celebrate a son, a brother, an uncle, a friend. And Father, we commit this time to you. We pray, Lord, that it would bring honor and blessing to your name, and Lord, that we would honor the life of Edward today. We ask these things in Jesus' name. I'd like to thank you on behalf of Kathleen and all of Ed's siblings and the nieces and nephews and friends that are here today. We're just honored to have you here to spend this time with us as we celebrate Edward's life. I'd like to invite Josh to come up as he shares one of Ed's poems with us.
This is Permit Me Voyage. As the spark shifted, shadowing shape, refused its reflective sight to escape. The moon but a murdered myth in the star-spangled abyss. How is it that savages only feared as the fury father slowly disappeared? As we ask ourselves, how long has it been since we've been here? Now the lonely lemming leaping year after year. As the host of alchemy, permit me fear. As a parasite of muse, permit me tears. In this my time, permit me peace of mind. Where the truth is but the significance of the lie across the shadow-covered page. Innocence, in a sense, knowledge. Now a ledge, permit me voyage.
Might be a little bit long-winded, but this is for Uncle Ed. Sorry.
Push the button.
All right. I know Ed wouldn't have wanted anything formal or stuff. He wasn't that kind of guy. He'd be more into something like this. People hanging out, maybe a guitar nearby, and a meniscus. And if you know, you know. And definitely a few good stories being passed around. And Dwight, you'll remember this one. Tell us the one about the trains again. There was such a stretch, there was a stretch when me, Dwight, Mike, and Duncan all lived together. And there was a pub just down the street, the Rusty Cage. And one night, we all went there with Ed. And eventually everyone took off, but Ed and I stayed behind and we finished our pints and we had a good chat. Well, we get outside and we spot a shopping cart with a pylon in it outside. And naturally, we decided it was a great idea for Ed to hop in it, and I'd push him the rest of the way back to our house. And so there we are, me pushing my uncle down the street in a shopping cart with him wearing a pylon like a dunce cap, laughing our asses off. When suddenly there was flashing red and blue lights that pulled up beside us. Well, the cop rolls down the window and asks how we're doing, and then says, "So what exactly are you two up to tonight?" And I looked at him and I said, "I'm just taking my uncle home." And Ed, with a huge grin on his face, says, "I'm saving up for a scooter." And the cops just smiled, told him to get out of the shopping cart, and then sent us on our way home. Uncle Ed was a poet.
Yeah. Push the button.
Always working on a new line, a new verse, or chasing some half-written truth around in his mind. He loved to hash things out, ask questions that made you pause, poke at your thoughts until you said something unexpectedly profound. His mind never stopped, and he saw the world differently, literally. because I don't think many of you people knew, but Ed had told me that he thought he had a thing called synesthesia. And synesthesia is seeing the colors that sounds make and the auras of people and actually seeing the true colors of emotion that are around you.
Whoa!
It gave his poetry another layer, a raw, vivid palette the rest of us could only imagine. By trade, he was an electrician, but by passion, he was a writer, a listener, a helper, and a handsome bastard, as he would say. He always wanted to front a punk band, and that was the name, and we tried, but that was his punk band name, the Handsome Bastards. He gave what he had, whether it was a few bucks, a cigarette, a meal, or just his time. And he befriended the forgotten, welcomed the strange, and never cared much for surface level things. And when I moved to Calgary in 2009, I ended up living below him in a 100-year-old house. Sundays were sacred, and you knew it was going to be a real Sunday if Ed's record player was already echoing through the floorboards by 10 a.m. And that meant one thing, a feast. And Ed would cook up curries, chilies, barbecue, whatever inspired him, and throw open his porch to whoever was around. It wasn't just a meal, it was a session. It was a vibe, and if you know Ed, you know what a session meant. And in his element, surrounded by music and people he cared about, Ed truly came alive, and that spirit gave birth to something a few of us here will always remember, and it was called EdFest. EdFest was magic, and when it started as a front porch concert in a downpour, and it became a small, eclectic festival of music, art, comedy, and friendship, and it was the session to end all sessions. I missed the first one, but I was at the second, where me, Ross, Ursula, and Ed would jam every Wednesday, learning songs, shaping poems into lyrics, preparing a set list. We rocked the porch. Myself and Ross' first ever performance with the help and guidance of Ursula and powered by Ed. And by the third annual EdFest in 2010, well over 300 people showed up. There was 14 bands, including us, the Bookies, and we opened our set with Uncle Ed on lead vocals as we covered The Grave by Don McLean. It was Ed to a T, and we were proud as a band to have Ed kick it up to set off our set, and he always pushed us as a band and supported us. Wild Rose Brewery even sponsored the event. Artists showcased between the houses, from paintings to sculptures, stand-up comedy being hosted between sets, and a myriad of people came to see the spectacle that was EdFest. A one-of-a-kind memory, a point in time, and an evocation of emotion. All this from one man's porch, Edward Clark's porch. And that's legacy. That's community, and that's my Uncle Ed.
Push the button.
Shut up. A poet who loved sharing his experience and his story and his life. And because EdFest became known as the Rebel Festival that went on at the same time right beside Lilac Fest, you'd be walking down 4th Street or 17th Ave with Ed, and people would call out his name or yell, EdFest! And he'd wave and put his fist in the air, and with a smile on his face, he'd yell, I love it! And of course, he could be stubborn, really stubborn. We butted heads, and a lot of us did. But I did admire that about him. He never changed for anyone, and that conviction, even when it got him into trouble, was something I respected deeply. Underneath all of that was a man who loved fiercely. He would give you the shirt off his back. He'd stand up for you. He'd feed you, and he'd give you a place to crash if you needed it. He saw people that others didn't, and he cared when others walked by. Everyone here knew Ed in their own way, and everyone has their stories, and I could go on, and I want to go on, but Ed always knew when to end a session on the right note. And so I'll leave you with this, something Ed would say at every gathering, every porch session, and every show. God knows love is brave! And that's exactly how he do it. I love you, Claire.
So this song came about the night before Ed passed away. We were going through his poetry at the table in the kitchen. And Dara was there with Ed watching his hockey game, his last hockey game. And I have a thing for music, and thought I'd put one of Ed's poetry into this app that creates music. And Kyle said, why don't you try this one? And it was called Lord, There Better Be a Heaven. And what it produced, I played for who was in the room. I believe it was Roland. Roland couldn't contain himself. And I thought, I'm going to play that for Ed in the morning because he's watching the hockey game. And he passed away. So this is Lord, There Better Be a Heaven.
Not this world we live in, and I believe in creation, your son's compassion. I know he rose to come again, and not in vain. I know his name, 'cause I'm sure what I hope for, and I believe in a Savior. Yet I'm certain of all I can see, and that's me. I believe in conviction, love, truth, and passion. Oh Lord, better be heaven. And as I'm waiting for this world to end, contemplating Armageddon, and I've stopped asking questions and learned how to listen. I've accepted your wisdom as true, 'cause I really want to know you, Lord. Faith and truth is how I found you, Lord. 'Cause I'm sure what I hope for, and I believe in a Savior. Yet I'm certain of all I can see, and that's me. I believe in conviction, love, truth, and passion. Oh Lord, you better be heaven. 'Cause I'm sure what I hope for, and I believe in a Savior. Yet I'm certain of all I can see, and that's me. I believe in conviction, love, truth, and passion. Oh Lord, better be heaven. Better be heaven. Better be heaven.
So I guess I'm up next. For the past 2 weeks, I've been trying to put together a slideshow. see Ed before he passed, so I like to think of this as our last session. Every song, every photo, it felt like he was there with me, making sure I picked it, and it just felt right. So I know there's already not a dry eye in the house, but you might need some extra tissues for this. I can't even watch it without crying the entire time, so, all right.
Way to get back homeward. Once there was a way to get back home. Sleep, pretty darling, do not cry, and I will sing a lullaby. Golden slumbers fill your eyes, smiles await you when you rise. Sleep, pretty darling, do not cry, and I will sing a lullaby. Once there was a way. I was dancing when I was 12. I was dancing when I was 12. I was dancing when I was out. I was dancing when I was out. I danced myself right out the womb. I danced myself right out the womb. Is it strange to dance so soon? I danced myself right out the room. I was dancing when I was 8. I was dancing when I was 8. Is it strange to dance so late? Is it strange to dance so late? I dance myself into the tune. I dance myself into the tune. Is it strange to dance so soon? I dance myself into the tune. Is it wrong to understand the fear that dwells inside a man? What's it like to be alone? I liken it to a balloon. I dance myself out of the womb. I dance myself out of the womb. Is it strange to dance so soon? I dance myself into the tune, and then again once more. I dance myself out of the womb. I dance myself out of the womb. Is it strange to dance so soon? I dance myself out of the womb.
And there in the chair lies everything away. And the reflection in the mirror casts a slowly silent stare. But how are Mr. Mornings? Just watching the wonder what away. I want Mr. Movies. And she's not.
I got my ticket for the long way round. 2 bottles of whiskey for the way. And I sure would like some sweet company. And I'm leaving tomorrow, what do you say? When I'm gone, when I'm gone, you're gonna miss me when I'm gone. You're gonna miss me by my hair, you're gonna miss me everywhere. Oh, you're gonna miss me when I'm gone. When I'm gone, when I'm gone, you're gonna miss me when I'm gone. You're gonna miss me by my walk, you're gonna miss me by my talk. Oh, you're gonna miss me when I'm gone. I got my ticket for the long way round, the one with the prettiest of views. It's got mountains, it's got rivers, it's got sights to give you shivers, but it sure would be prettier with you. When I'm gone, when I'm gone, you're gonna miss me when I'm gone. You're gonna miss me by my walk, you're gonna miss me by my talk. Oh, you're gonna miss me when I'm gone. When I'm gone, when I'm gone, you're gonna miss me when I'm gone. You're gonna miss me by my hair, you're gonna miss me everywhere. Oh, you're sure gonna miss me when I'm gone. When I'm gone, when I'm gone, you're gonna miss me when I'm gone. You're gonna miss me by my walk, you're gonna miss me by my talk. Oh, you're gonna miss me when I'm gone.
Look at this face. I know the years are showing. Look at this life. I still don't know where it's going. I don't know much, but I know I love you.
Go in the lake.
That may be all I need to know.
Look at these eyes, they've never seen what matters. Look at these dreams, so big and so better.
I don't know much, but I know I love you. And that may be all I need to know. So many questions still left unanswered. So much I've never broken through.
And when I feel you near me, sometimes I see so clearly. The only truth I've ever known is me and you.
Look at this man, so blessed with inspiration. Look at this soul, still searching for salvation. I don't know much, but I know I love you. And that may be all I need to know. But I know I love you. That may be all I need to know.
I watched her life story on Netflix.
Did I love you?
Did I that I love you. Let me be that I need to know. Hit it. Get it.
Hello, Levizon. Hello, Levizon.
I'm Kyle, Ed's nephew, and I've been in charge of gathering up Ed's things and all his papers and his poetry. And I knew my Uncle Ed in my own way, on a more literary and philosophical level. We had many heated debates and discussions the last few years, where I was standing in the corner of his trailer, and I have a traditional Irish song to sing, and it reminds me a lot of Ed. And I don't sing often or at all, but I was able to sing for Edward at my sister's wedding a couple of years ago, and so I'd like to sing for him now. It's called The Parting Glass. Of all the money that e'er I had, I spent it in good company, and of all the harm that e'er I've done, alas, it was to none but me. And all I've done for want of wit, to memory now I can't recall. So come fill to me the parting glass. Good night and joy be with you all. A man may drink and not be drunk. A man may fight and not be slain. A man may court a pretty girl and perchance be welcome back again. But since it falls unto my lot that I should rise and you should not, I'll gently rise and I'll softly call. Good night and joy be with you all. Of all the comrades that e'er I had, they're sorry for my going away. And of all the sweethearts that e'er I had, they would wish me one more day to stay. But since it has so ought to be a time to rise and a time to fall, I'll gently rise and I'll softly call. Good night and joy be with you all.
Edward Stanley Clark was born October 8th, 1964 at Hollow Street Hospital. He's the fourth child of Stanley, Patrick Clark, and Kathleen Teresa Clark. Duffy. Yes, that was her maiden name. And I have a great memory of the day that he came out of the hospital. David, so him being the fourth, I'm the oldest brother. And Sharon, she's the eldest. Dave is in Ireland at the moment, although he should be on the line, hopefully, listening in. Yeah, so they came out, we were staying at my grandmother's house, I think, Pembroke Lane. And my uncle Dermot came and picked us up. And all I recall is that somebody passed this little tiny little redhead into the back between the three of us, and I got to meet my little brother Edward. And I've always been jealous of his hair. He had great hair. Wow. So I'll continue reading on this. There's so many places I like to look this up because what happened was Edward passed over 2 months ago, and in that time we've had initially we thought that we would do the burial immediately. We didn't. We waited, and it's been 2 months since that transpired, and it's given us, all of us, a great opportunity to really spend time remembering and appreciating Edward more than we ever have, and especially and Josh read one of his poems, and it's an amazing poem. But he wrote so many, and we're going to be publishing a book of 80 of the poems, and there's even more of those. And Kyle has been finding bits of paper under, I don't know where. Got another poem for you. So we've been able to find all of these, and has given us incredible insights into Edward and his life and his loves, all the women that he knew in his life. He would often speak of them, and we didn't really know who they were, but they were very important to him. And one of them, in fact, Evelyn contacted her recently, and she had great fond memories of Edward. And so it was great to learn that about him, about the life that he had, beyond what we all knew about him. He lived really a full life. And that's what I really come to appreciate. So from an early age, he stood out for his independence. And I think everyone knows what Edward's independence looks like. Could be stubborn, but also very witty. We just would love when he was one of the Clark children who could stand up and fight back. And we just loved it. And we'd say, go for it, Ed. Just let him have it. And he would do it. And he was amazing for that. He was an extrovert, insatiable curiosity, a real character. We just miss him so much. I'll try to say composes. In any event, Edward was the only boy in the family who was born in Ireland. And if you were to meet Edward, you would never think that he was a Canadian. Not in a million years. And he was as Irish as you could find him. And yet he lived in Canada for about 40 years. But he was as Irish as the day he was born. And we just love him for that as well. He lived in Calgary for 35 years. He established Edfest. I'm not sure it's down in the annals of history of this city of Calgary. It was well known on 4th Avenue, 4th Street.
It was his, he called it the Anti-Festival.
The Anti-Festival, yeah.
We were right next to the Lilac Festival, right beside.
That's right, that's
4th
right.
Street, so he wanted to create his own festival.
And so,
the Anti-Festival.
and it's so well known to everybody. We all went out one evening, Shawnee and Josh, and our son Evan, who is in Austria, hopefully he's watching. And we all went out for dinner, and we were walking on 4th. We walked out of the restaurant, and we're walking down the street, and Ed stops. And he starts talking to this guy. And he's a homeless guy. And he's talking to him like he knows him, like he's his best friend. And that's the kind of person that Ed was. He knew people, he'd give you the money right out of his pocket. It didn't matter who you were. He was so generous, and he just seemed to understand people, and he really did connect with so many. And that was a wonderful thing about him. He worked as an electrician. Actually, he worked in Ireland initially. when I worked at a computer company, got him a job at the firm. I went back sometime later to visit my manager from Canada just to say hello. And I said, "How's Ed getting on?" "Oh, Ed. Oh, right. That fella. What? Why, what happened?" "Oh, no, he's good. He's good. He knows what he's doing. He's got a bit of an attitude." Yep, that would be Ed. So, anyway, in years past, and Ed had to leave Calgary. It was during around the time of COVID, so 2020 he left. He came out to Powell River, and he spent his last few years here. And I'm sure that many people got to know Ed, maybe in the pub, maybe somewhere near the beach. I don't know where you would have met him, but he certainly was very memorable. He was very memorable to all of us. He was, he was just such a wonderful brother. He was probably the most spoken of person in our family, of the 10 of us. Ed was on it, he never married, and he was just so much a part in every way, to each and every one of us. And even our children knew their Uncle Ed, and as you saw here just today, all of the nieces and nephews have great memories, fond memories of Ed. All the photographs show, all the pictures. He knows them all so well. Addie Dale and Lachlan, and oh gosh, there's so many that, he's known them since birth. And so he's got a real imprint on our family, and in our family forever, I think. We'll always have a Uncle Ed as someone that will always remember, will always deeply miss. I love his one-liners. I love it like bacon. He'd often call me in the middle of the night. He'd often call me in the middle of the night with a verse, and he'd ask me to help him finish it. And it would be, imagine being me, imagine being you. What's the next line? And you'd say to me, no, that doesn't work. Think of another one. So, Indestructible Blue. Indestructible Blue was that. So, and that's one of the poems that'll be in the book. And I would encourage everybody to, once it's published, we'll get copies out to everybody, and just to really look at his thoughts and the way he thought, the way he lived his life. Certainly different, but we appreciate him so much. We're going to miss him forever. Just going to miss him forever. We'll miss him forever.
I try to memorize this, but I can't right now. A quick word for my friend Ed. I met Ed the same night I met Sean Bursell, who just stepped out. And I believe Dwight was there as well, but I guess he wasn't. I guess I imagined him in there. At an open mic in Calgary, it was Ed. He would dance around the bar talking to everyone. He seemed odd at first. Just a little bit, friendly, loud, and animated, with an unmistakable Irish accent. He was kind with his words and was endlessly inquisitive. To be honest, I didn't understand a word of most of what he said that night, but I could tell he was a unique character and full of heart. His passion for art, or the muse as he always said, was unmatched. His poetry seems like a labyrinth of words and feelings. Over the years, I spent many evenings hanging out with Ed. He would always call me and he'd tell me, "Hey, come over and let's have a couple of beers and just hang out." And sometimes I would go and we'd have a great nights, listen to music, smoking Belvederes, and drinking the Meniscus Aloysius, between beers. He had a knack for picking out parts of someone's sentence and making it his own, which would trigger a totally different conversation. He was brilliant that way. I still have the books, records, magazines, shirts, hats that he gave me. Ed, I'm sorry I never learned any of the Counting Crow songs. They were too hard and I didn't really like them. But I didn't have the heart to tell him. But I promise I tried, man. I did try. I will remember you forever, Ed Clark. I love you, friend. Thank you for your friendship.
Ed and I were good friends. And I used to go watch, if there was a Canadian team making a good run at the playoffs, I'd always go watch playoffs with Ed down at his place on 23rd Ave off 4th Street in Calgary. Anyway, it was around that time that the CBC lost the rights to the Hockey Night in Canada team. So I dug up my old trombone, and by the end of the playoffs, I pretty much have the old theme down pat. And this went on year after year. Well, anytime a Canadian team made a half decent run at it, and many times he said to me, "You gotta play that at my funeral, you bastard." So we'll give it a go. We'll start again. I think that was the wrong note.
My name's Daisy. I didn't really prepare anything, it's just kind of spontaneous, but Ed lived with us for about a year and a little bit while he was living here, and I got to know him more than I ever did my whole life. And we had, as Kyle said, we would have debates and talks, and he would try to explain him his brain, because I was learning about the brain, and every time I would try to tell him the names, he would come up with a whole different name. I would tell him about the medulla oblongata, and he would say unagana. I would tell him about the pons, which is where your dreams are, and he's like, the dream jar. And to this day, I was writing an exam, writing about the medulla oblongata, and all I could think was unagana. And all I could think of was the dream jar. I actually wrote that on an exam by accident. And I should have brought it, but he wrote a little poem about the brain in my brain book, and I would often look at it and just smile. And my favorite time would be catching him asleep on our couch with, at the time we had my mom got a cat off Swap and Shop. We went to buy a shelf, and we ended up with 3 shelves and a cat. And this cat just loved him. He would fall asleep on his chest, and he would say it looked like a roast chicken. And that it was his talisman of depression, and sucking the sadness out of me. And the cat would go into his trailer and just be with him, and I thought that's when he looked the most peaceful, was when he was asleep and had a little critter close to him. And yeah, I just want to thank Edward for helping us to look at things differently, to be brave for us, to be able to face death and smile and know he's loved. And I carry that with me because life is so short and it's so precious. And it's like, I think if you read his poems, it's like he's preparing himself. And I admire that about him. He made my childhood. And Terrace, I have to remember to think that they were the
the best years of my life with my brother Ed. I just want to say that Edward just loved Mammy so much. I loved Mammy. And when he was at my house, he just really encouraged me to just, the Maz, you know, it's the Maz. Ah, look at her, she's adorable.
Ed nicknamed Maz.
Yes, he did. He started with the Maz.
And then it was Mazzy.
And then it was Maz.
Only bro in a good mood.
And he was an encourager. And I want to thank Ev for being his angel when he really needed. And I would just say, Ev, I can't thank you enough. Like, that he had what he really needed. And all my sisters and brothers were there.
He's an angel of courage now.
He's very brave. Very brave. When I heard of this last night, it made my heart kind of, that's lovely. This hockey team won. He's definitely one of a kind, our brother Ed. Well, you can't just say that because he's passed either. Like, he really, really is. Everybody knows him in the short years he's been here.
We will always be 10. Maybe not now, but we'll always be 10 for him. I appreciate you all for coming. I know that Edward would be really taken back. Really taken back. And I thank you all for coming.
Another time, I was about 19, I flew to Calgary, my first time flying, instead of being on a Greyhound bus for 4 days. And I met Ed on 17th Avenue, we were walking down 17th Avenue, and Ed was a bit of a gypsy, you know. If my sleeves were shredded, right, or on his wool sweater or whatever, he loved it. So we're walking down, and I should have been an Olympian back then anyway. Me and Ed are walking on the street, and this guy walks by, a big handsome guy, and he's got a woman on each arm, right? And he walks by, and we're not paying attention, but he stops and looks at Ed and goes, "You're a bum."
He'll be here forever.
So I stopped. Yeah, positive, yeah. I stopped and said to the guy, "What'd you say?" And he goes, I said, "Oh, natural lips." I said, "What if I attack you backwards? So you're gonna sucker punch me in the back of the head and we'll get it going?" And the guy went to do that, and then I gave Ed the power just to walk up to this big, giant, muscle guy with a woman on each arm. He grabs his arm and he goes, "Don't touch him. Not to keep your peace, but to keep his grace. Hey, I swear, don't touch him." And off the guy went. And then Ed wrote a poem about me called "Touch Me Not," which is lost somewhere. But the lines are, "Touch me not to keep the peace or my grace. We dare you."
Hi, I'm Sharon. I'm the oldest of the 10. And everyone's very talented, all my family. We're all wonderful. And yeah, I've seen Ed come and I've seen Ed go in the last 12 years in my motorhome, going back and forth. We always stopped in with him and see how he's doing and where he's going. And then he come to Powell River, and he always called us the Trinity Twins because it was me and Darrell and David, then Edward, and Suzanne and Lucia, Robert and Byron, and Katz and Ed. So me and him were kind of the odds, so we always called us the Trinity Twins. Let's stick together, we'd say. And yeah, he wrote a poem for me called "How Rare These Things Are When You Find Diamonds Heaped Before Your Door." They're very rare.
And yeah, he loved everyone. He was different. We all helped him in every way. When he helped us, it's like he's set the note for what's in the future to come. And he was very brave. He made peace for you with no pain. And one of the poems he wrote is that he knew how his life was going to be because he finished the poem with that hard breath.
And that was his heart last breath. The last night I was with him, I rubbed his legs with castor oil and his arms and his hands and, oh, Shark, do this. And I was going to go, will you do me hand? Will you do me neck? So we kept doing all this, and then the nurse came in and we're going to freshen you up, Ed. And he's like, all right, that sounds like a plan. And I took his face in my hand and gave a big kiss, and I said, love you. And I was waiting for him to say, love you back, but I know he doesn't always say it, but I know it. And I left, and I was going to stay, and I didn't. But that's the way it is. And he looked as peaceful and the same as he was. And this, of all of us, this is going to be the best send-off of anyone in the family. That's a fact. Anyway, we have lovely refreshments. Mingle, get to know you.
You're going at 8.
And Ed's mom, and I want to thank everyone from the bottom of my heart who remembered this day and come and celebrate with us his life, which you're all here now. And it's very sad, but he's in a happier place. And thank you again.
Uncle Ed was the best. Totally introduced me to a whole bunch of different ways of thinking about art and ways of thinking, and how to have a million levels of ways of keeping the conversation going when you're almost at a point of explosion where you think, how could those two people still be friends? But an hour later, sitting there talking about a different subject. Unbelievable. Me, Sarah, Dwight, Sean, everybody, Ursel, I think, I don't know, man, there's a lot of people at this party Uncle Ed had on his porch. Really, and we prank called him. We phoned from a different phone, and we phoned him real quick. And I had him going for about a half an hour, thinking I was just somebody that knew him that he ran into one day. And I ended up going back to back with him, and I nudged him, and when he turned around, I was went, it's me, I'm on the phone. And he never forgave me for it, never. He was so taken back by how I just completely did not, oh God, it really irked him. But months later, me and Sarah were going down, we're getting a beer run, go and get a bunch of beer for Uncle Ed's party, and he's got a scratch and win as we're going out the door, and he goes, hey, cash this in, I just won $1,000. And everybody looks at it, everybody confirms it, it's happening, $1,000, and we run all the way to this Shoppers Drug Mart, just around the bend, and we cash it in. Sarah's outside, the people outside, and we give it to the lady, and they go, oh, $1,000 winner, and it goes, like it's not a winner, and she goes, sorry, sir, no, that's not a winner. I said, oh, maybe check it again, eh? And he got us, and we came through the door, and he slapped his hands together, rubbing fire, man. He's like, ha ha, don't you ever prank on me again. I'll kill you. Oh, that was great. Oh man, he was good. Okay, here we go, I think. 1, 2, 3. On a Sunday morning sidewalk, wishing, Lord, that I was stoned. 'Cause there's something in a Sunday that makes a body feel alone. And there's nothing short of dying. Oh, heaven knows as a sound on a sleeping city sidewalk. Sunday morning.
When I'm born again, I am whole, new, complete. I can stand above my troubles. I can stand on my own feet. I can feel the sun against me. Its rays crawl through my skin. This morning I am born again. I can overcome my sins. I can overcome my sins. This morning I'm born again, my ball and chain is gone. This great eternal moment is my great eternal dawn. I give myself, my heart, my soul, to give some friend a hand. This morning I am born again, I am in the promised land. I am in the promised land. I am in the promised land.
So again, on behalf of Kathleen and all of the family, we thank you so much for coming out and celebrating Edward's life with us. And we ask you to hang around, have some refreshments, continue to share your memories with us and with one another as we continue to celebrate Edward and his life. Again, thank you so much for coming out.